Well, well, well. Look who just triggered the system again. Welcome back, you beautiful classified enigma. The walking redacted document. The human question mark that makes federal databases glitch just trying to load your profile. Yeah, you heard that right. The FBI just pulled your file. The same one they've been quietly compiling ever since you were old enough to make people uneasy with your silence. And what they found on page 3? Not a criminal record, not a psych evaluation, not even a speeding ticket. No. They found something that made an agent's coffee go cold mid-sip, made his supervisor rise slowly from his chair, made the whole room fall silent like a funeral. There it was, a CIA seal, stamped on a civilian file where it absolutely shouldn't exist. A classification code that seasoned investigators only whisper about, the kind that makes even the veterans question what reality they're operating in. Now everyone in that sterile, fluorescent-lit office is asking the same question. Their faces pale, their hands trembling slightly as they flip through pages that only get stranger with every turn. Who the hell are you really?
My name is John Kramer, aka Johnny Kramer. I'm just a man. Some say genius. Some say an idiot. I lean towards more the idiot. But I have been known to have my smart times or days. Now, is it bothering me that the FBI has opened my file? No. They already knew. Many years ago. Now, when it comes to you questioning me, sir, of who am I, the question should be, who was I? And my question to you is, who are you?
Because that seal, that three-letter brand glowing like a warning label from another dimension, doesn't just appear on ordinary people's files. It shows up on ghosts, on assets, on those who've been somewhere, seen something, or done something that rewrote their very identity in the system. So let's cut to it. While those agents scramble to reconstruct your timeline, have you ever wondered why certain people can't look you in the eye?
Yes, they can't look me in the eye because they're backstabbing bitches.
Why conversations seem to die when you enter a room?
Yes, because before I enter a room, I already know what the topic is. The secret eyes and ears.
Don't settle for less.
I won't settle for less. I want the whole caboot and caboodle. I think we have an illegal with their stuff in a bag on the run across the border here. That other side there is Canada. Stubby Fox, you're here. I told you take a break. Have your coffee. I'm just being an idiot right now. Nothing important. Is that Ernie? It could have been Ernie on the run, but I think it was an illegal alien. I think Ernie was dressed like an illegal alien.
Just misunderstood, maybe a little too deep for the surface level world.
Yes, a lot of people have misunderstood me. That is true. I've only had the best interest of my people, the United States citizens and America, at best.
But no, you're far more than that. You're the kind of person they categorize as do not engage without authorization. The one whose name gets circled in red marker during internal briefings. The civilian whose past doesn't align with their present. And that CIA seal on page 3? That's not an error. Someone placed it there intentionally. Someone with a clearance so high, their identity isn't even searchable.
Well, I call that guy Mr. Untouchable. That's how I've been calling him for the past 50 years, is Mr. Untouchable. But I think there was a drop made. Debbie, did you see that? Debbie said, I think that was Ernie walking across the sidewalk. I don't know. But whatever they were transporting, I think the drop was made. I'm not sure. But let's see what Miss Debbie is saying. Thick, nice voice. I'm scared. It's okay, Miss Debbie. Drink your coffee there, sweetie. Mr. What shit? just bear with me. Drink your coffee, relax.
They looked at your patterns, your choices, the way you've survived things that should have destroyed you. And they made a note. They marked you. But as what? That's the question that keeps them awake at night. That's the mystery tearing through their protocols like acid through paper. Because people with that seal aren't victims, and they're sure as hell not random. They started digging back into your childhood, didn't they? Trying to trace your origin story. They pulled your school files, your medical history, your family records, hoping to find the moment you became whatever you are now. They searched for trauma, training, or some hidden event that explains how someone seemingly normal ends up flagged by federal intelligence.
Yes, Mr. Untouchable. You are right. They went through my whole life and found out that I was an idiot. Brain damage, they said, but I trained myself to regrow my brain that was infected, that was damaged by electronical blockage from concussions and swelling of the brain. Therefore, I had to go on through life training my brain, much like a military soldier, to function properly so I can at least make these videos. Only by the grace of God is why this channel is still going and all of its subs and subscribers. Amen. Are there any more questions?
But what they found instead was unsettling, nothing. Completely normal, painfully average, almost too clean. A childhood so spotless it felt staged. And that's what made them dig deeper.
It was staged. I was an idiot when I was growing up. Drove the little yellow bus. Are there any more questions today, sir?
Because nobody goes from that kind of ordinary background to having a CIA seal on their record without something happening in between. Something off the books, untraceable, and powerful enough to rewrite everything they thought they knew about you.
This is true. This is true what Miss Debbie Fox is saying. You got no brains, man. It's just a tomato. That's true. Thank God I had the serum to tomato brain. Yes, it's true. I was growing tomatoes. And Miss Fox told me to grab the tomato and shake the leaf to pollinate the rest of it. And there was all these little hairs all over the stem of the tomato plant. And once I touched them, which she knew would infect me with tomato brain, Thank God I had the serum for that. But she is telling the truth there. Her herself was a spy for the other side. And it is true what she's saying, that she was the one that told me to touch the tomato plant and shake it. So it went ahead and pollinated the rest of the tomato plants. And she knew by touching that tomato plant that I would get one of its hair spores into my hand and it would infect me with tomato brain. I can only thank God that I had the serum. Let's get back to what this guy's questioning me, trying to figure out who I am. I say, who are you to, sir?
So they began digging deeper, reaching out to anyone who might remember you from before you became unreadable. Old teachers, former neighbors, classmates, anyone who once crossed paths with you. Every single one of them said the same thing, with that uneasy, faraway look in their eyes.
Whoa, looks like you're...
What'd they say? Hey, you mean Kramer? He was an idiot when we were growing up. Funny guy, but he was an idiot. Are you kidding me? He's like some kind of a genius.
Something different about them, something we couldn't quite name. Like you were observing them when they thought they were the ones watching you. Even as a child, you were already reversing the surveillance, operating on a wavelength that made adults uneasy, displaying behaviors that would one day require federal classification just to make sense of. Then they noticed the gap in your timeline, that strange blank space between who you were and who you are now, where official records blur and witnesses go quiet. Even you can't fully recall it, can you?
No, I can't recall it. All I know is I can tell you this much. It is called time jumping. Time warp is where I stepped into a different dimension. And most scientists back then had no clue what was going on when they were watching me, even the government agent. Where did he go? How does he do this? It is not me that does anything. It is only the power of God. I have no powers. I'm just a vessel, time warp jumper. Someone say you have a baby face for being 50 some years old. That's true. Or maybe I died and my face is the face of my age that I passed. Or time jumped. I'm not sure, but let's get back to it. Let me get to my chat. I've got everybody coming down on me. This guy's questioning me. That guy's questioning me. Let me see what Debbie said. You're an idiot. You got tomato brain. I know, Miss Fox. If it wasn't for you, I probably would have gone through life without having tomato brain. But being that you made me touch that tomato plant and shake the leaves to pollinate the rest of it, I've infected with tomato brain. Or tomato brain, whatever it is. But as you can see, I'm not dead because I had the serum. Although you wish I did die, and you probably were paid millions of dollars, billions probably. I've survived, and this is why this right now is your suspect. Now, let's get back to this guy's question. Self-help or what a voice from the black hole. Don't tell me about black holes. I've looked to them all my life. I've been inside black holes, canyons. Hello, 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 hello. Only to find out it was my girlfriend's vagina. Not how dare you, woman.
The details come back in fragments, half dreams that feel too vivid to dismiss as imagination. That's the part that keeps the investigators awake at night. The missing years, the time when you vanished from the radar, the stretch where you somehow acquired survival instincts you never studied, tactical awareness you were never trained for, and an almost supernatural ability to read danger before it unfolds. You came back different, sharper, operating with an edge that can't be explained by ordinary experience.
That's because I stepped into the doobie machine. the Doobie Brothers machine, and it took me on a ride. I went transferring in through warp speed into different time dimensions. They didn't think I'd ever come back. You all seen Back to the Future? That was me. But you people are so dumb. I mean, I would never say that. You know, that's other people saying it, Trump and everybody. I would never say that. Trump would. But that you have no idea what you're dealing with here. I'll tell you this one. Let me see what my mod is saying. Let me see what Page Turner is saying. Babyface, you look like a Doobie Brothers father. How dare you, sir, ever talk about the Doobie Brothers like that? I don't even know if you know, but I got so much clearance, I can vaporize your house for even talking about a Doobie Brother like that. I'm not going to go get into it right now because I'm being questioned right now. Of course, as always, I plead the fifth. As we all know, a great man taught me that, and that was, who was that? Jimmy Hoffa, which we're still finding. Some say he's in my blood. I might be related. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm pleading the fifth, much like the great Howard Hughes, who in front of everybody, Senate, Congress, everybody, committee, everybody, I plead the fifth. And if the spruce goose don't fly, I'm going to pack up my shit and I'll be out of here. Unfortunately, the spruce goose flew. Who knew? But of course, great Uncle Hughes and Nikolai Tesla and everybody, they were all crazy. You know, to the rest of the world, that was crazy. But therefore was one of the biggest genius evers in the world. Now let's get back to this questioning. Sure. I have a lunch date with myself here pretty soon.
They've run every test, analyzed every data point, but the results all lead to the same disturbing conclusion. People don't develop counter-surveillance reflexes by accident. They don't instinctively understand psychological warfare without exposure to it. Someone trained you, or something happened that rewired your entire operating system. Maybe you stumbled into a world that recognized your potential and decided to shape it.
Well, some say, but I cannot reveal the name of them. I only know them as certain people, the Mr. Untouchable. Therefore, I can't expose my resources of how I became what I became, which some people are like, he just became an idiot. And there's no laws that I've broken in becoming just an idiot. Therefore, I plead the fifth once again. But let's continue, sir, because I got a lunch date here soon. And I got things to do. Okay? I really do. I really do. Mr. Page Turner, if you please could stop talking about Mr. Schroen, one of the great guitar players that I've done many videos on. I would appreciate it. I don't want to have to vaporize your house from sitting right here with one button, sir. Don't ever talk about him like that again. Any of my rock bands, anybody that I am officially, which I'm not associated with any of these rock bands, but how dare you talk about my rock bands like that, you idiot. No, I can't stand this no more, Miss Fox. You might be able to put up with that, but I refuse to put up with it in my chat. And I think you should go ahead and spend some time in lockup with some real crazies in my lockup. There you go, sir. Have a good day. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to this questioning by the CIA, FBI, PSYOP questioner.
Maybe you were forged quietly, refined in secrecy, and sent back into society as something the system couldn't label but also couldn't ignore. That CIA seal on your file doesn't mark you as a suspect. It marks you as an interest, possibly an asset, maybe even a contingency plan, a human safeguard carrying skills and awareness that make you too valuable to be dismissed and too unpredictable to be left unwatched. They don't place that kind of classification on people they plan to arrest.
No, they don't. Why? Because I've broken no laws. There is no law saying I can't expose the world to the devil. or expose the devil to the world. I mean, I got that backwards. See, I'm an idiot. See, I meant to say expose the devil to the world. There's no laws breaking that. Therefore, I've done nothing wrong. I plead the fifth. Thank you very much. Let's get back to this.
They reserve it for those they intend to protect, activate, or study. Because losing sight of someone like you would be a strategic failure. Do you understand the magnitude of that? You're not just another name in a bureaucratic system. You're someone whose existence registers on levels above conventional command structures.
I'm just a man, an idiot. That's all. It is God. It is God who is somebody, King of all kings, creator of everything. It is only Him, the great Father. That is anything. I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot.
Someone valuable to agendas that won't be declassified for decades. And that's why they're panicking. Pulling your file was supposed to be routine, a simple check, an open and shut background review.
Who's coming in the driveway?
Listen, I'm just a man. That's it. With an imagination. Sometimes I get lucky and hit a goddamn $1 billion investment invention. Sometimes I get lucky and hit $1 billion invention or something or idea. You know, but I never see the money. I never see the money. They're sending me letters of Wurlitzer Prize and everything. You know, I never see any of the money. I don't get nothing. I'm poorer than a jackrabbit looking for a mate. Right? I mean, I'm hornier than a dog, but I don't get no money. Yeah, they barely take care of me. They're hoping to clone my brain or something. All I can say is I've been under strict orders to just say I plead the fifth. It's against my contracts and everything to expose anymore. I mean, I'm not sitting here smoking sativa. I'm not sitting there, hurting anybody. I would never do that. But anyways, let's continue with this questioning, sir, because I got a busy day. I got chores to do around here. I'm not married and have 6 wives. I got to do all my own work.
Upon a ghost in the machine, a person who doesn't fit the algorithm, whose existence rewrites the rules. You. Instead, they opened a door they were never meant to walk through, a door so far above their clearance level it might as well have been sealed shut by reality itself. The moment they accessed your file, they tripped an alarm buried deep in a network that most of them didn't even know existed. Within seconds, encrypted alerts were dispatched to unmarked offices filled with people who don't officially exist.
This is true. I got a phone call and an email saying, do you know what they've done? And I'm like, well, I know everything. So sure, I know what they've done. They've opened a can of whoop ass on their own selves. And they were like, how could this happen? I'm like, I don't care if it happens. I'm pleading the fifth all the way, and we're going to open fire on anything that moves, breathes, or sends a heat signal. Now let's get back to this questioning because I got a long, busy day.
Phones began ringing in windowless rooms. Screens in undisclosed locations lit up with your name, a name that now carries the weight of restricted clearance and classified priority. Somewhere far above their pay grade, a decision is being made. Do they shut this inquiry down completely, allow it to continue under surveillance, or quietly reroute it into a compartmentalized channel where only a handful of people will ever know it exists.
We're going to go with number 2. And we're just going to do whatever we want to do, David. We're here to take on David, the great Goliath. We're here to take on everybody, all shot caller, big ballers. The United States military is here to take you folks on. Just letting you know, of course, I'm pleading the fifth all the way. Insanity. Right to the big house. That's right, Congress and Senate. Right to the big Congress and Senate house. I'm pleading the fifth all the way there. They already know what I'm doing when I come in there. They're already making plans for a nice lunch and everything. And I was like, that sounds great. I could do that. I could do a nice lunch and everything. I mean, this is all just bull hockey. And things will continue the way they're continuing. Thank you very much. And we all plead the fifth. Everyone's pleading the fifth, so why wouldn't I? What a great day. Let's continue with the questioning because I've got chores to do. I got to finish my dishes and vacuum and wipe stuff down around here. Dust from all the, you open the doors and everything. We got so much dust flying through the atmosphere from all these earthquakes, volcanoes, and all the bombs and everything. Just filled with particles and dirt and all kinds of crap. Dustier than crap around here, Mr. Trump. I agree. We got to clean it up.
The agent who first opened your file is already under review. Internal Affairs has him in a room, asking why he accessed a restricted record without the necessary authorization.
Yeah, I told that idiot. You didn't have clearance to do shit. And he's like, who dare you tell me? I said, well, I just told you. You didn't have clearance to do shit. Right? Don't touch my shit. Right? I told the guy that. He was like, there ain't nothing going to happen. I'm like, we'll see about that, idiot. Well, now he is being tortured and interrogated by Internal Affairs and a lot of other people. And he was asking me, did this really have to go that far? And I was like, well, did you really have to question my authority in this country? And that was it right there. I let him live. But he's never going to walk again the same. But he's alive. I didn't kill him. That was my loss. Everyone knows me in Congress and Senate and everything. I obey by the books, right? I obey by the books, my laws, and that's it. And continue on this questioning.
He's being reminded very carefully that some files are sealed for reasons that go beyond rank, beyond agency, beyond government. The poor guy thought he was just doing his job, chasing a lead, following standard protocol, chasing what he assumed was another forgettable person of interest.
That guy was chasing nothing but working for Epstein. Do you understand? That's why he's gone. Right? You ain't going to blackmail us. And that's what we told him pretty much. And he was like, you ain't going to tell me, Cameron, you're fucking with him. And I was like, bring it, you faggot. Bring it. I'm begging you to get on your tricycles and come a-rolling. Come a-rolling. We're 100% ready with death above. And numerous things that clear massive amounts of ground. You won't see it, smell it, taste it. You'll know something bad's going on when bodies and birds and animals start hitting the ground. Now, you want some. You come to the craziest motherfucker in this country. Did shit for free. Now, let's get back to this questioning.
He had no idea that he was about to walk straight into a myth disguised as a human being, a living paradox with a social security number and a file that glows like radioactive truth. Now the question is spreading through that office like a virus they don't know how to contain. Who are you really? Are you former intelligence? Someone who walked away but never truly left? Someone who still carries the training, the reflexes, the knowledge of things better left buried? Or are you something more experimental, a project so classified it doesn't even have an official code name? Maybe you're a psychological operation gone rogue, a study subject released into the population, a long-term test to measure what happens when enhanced awareness collides with normal society. Or perhaps you're something even stranger.
I'm just an idiot and I follow God or good compared to following the devil and anyone else. That's it. On a mission from God. That's it. Now, I don't think there's anything else, sir, that you need to question me about. For if I was anybody that was worth anything or any kind of worries to any government or their divisions, I would not be here sitting talking to you as we speak. So put that in your hairy crack pipe and smoke it, Mr. Turner. Now, if there's any other questions, I surely will answer them. But I will not sit here and listen to this abomination of who I am. I am a figment of the great I am, a creation of who sent me. I am is his name. Now you go through all your history books and you go through all your documentation and ask all your scientists and everybody in your religious men, who was I am? They might be able to help you. Now, if there's any more questioning, feel free to ask. If not, I've got stuff to do around here, chores. And then back to the greatest movie ever created, and actor, and scriptwriter, Mr. Johnny Kramer. And I don't even want to take credit for that because it is only God who is the great. And
a witness to events so sensitive.
I said, shut up, sir. I said, shut up, sir. That's what I said. Do you understand my questioning now, sir? The great creator, I am God, who has sent me, sir. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
That your very existence had to be classified.
Don't you talk about my classification, sir. How dare you even bring up my classifications? You don't even have the classifications to even question me on my classifications in this world. Do you understand me, sir? Now, Miss Fox, if there's anything else you need to know, would you please question? Can you please show Mr. Page Turner to the chat door, please? You might want to call security or something. Have him waiting outside the door. So when he does step outside the door, they just break his ass down right there. Right in front of the whole world. Call the cameras in the news place. Let them know that we will be escorting Mr. Page Turner out through the chat door. Hello, Miss ATS News. How are you doing today? Great live last night on Gypsy Rose. Right? What a great lady on her way to changing her life. And what great moves. Now, I must get back to my questioning here by the great unknowns in the government, Miss ATS News.
A sleeper agent unaware of your own purpose, walking around with buried protocols, waiting for the right signal to awaken. Or, and this is the possibility that terrifies them the most, maybe you were never trained at all. Maybe you evolved this way. Maybe every hardship, every betrayal, every near-death moment sharpened you into something the system can't categorize. Someone who became a ghost through sheer survival instinct. Someone who built their own armor and learned to move through chaos unseen.
Well, Mr. Government, now you're starting to catch on. Training. Well, training was training living on the streets, sharing garbage cans with rats, living, eating out of the back of a dumpster, watching, always learning, madness, reviewing, reading books on how to conquer yourself, and not only yourself, the world. Now you are getting a taste of what Mr. Kramer has been telling you for the past 10 years on this channel. It don't take a rocket scientist to wipe out the world. If an idiot can do it, then surely anyone can. Now, if there are any more questions, I would hopefully be asked in chat. You folks been watching the Johnny Kramer Music Movie Channel, where nothing is real and it is all for entertainment purposes. Are there any questions by anyone in my chat right now? Other than, have you been an idiot all your life? And that question is yes. Miss Fox says, but it does take a good Samaritan to create a good rocket. This is true. This is true. We have come to take on the men that took on God, the ones that were blessed by God at one time, but then were punished and thrown out of the madness. They're here to take on the great army of David, or whatever his name was in the Bible. They're saying, I don't know, he's gone rogue or something. What is happening? The world is turning. I'm being questioned right now by some of the greatest minds in the world and branches of government right now. They're questioning me with these questions. I keep telling them I got chores to do around here. I don't have a wife and 6 girlfriends on the side. I got to clean my own stuff and do my own laundry and do my own shit. Yes, Miss Fox, you'll need a nap. You will need a nap. I told you. Didn't I tell you before I did this video? Please take and drink a cup of coffee and relax. I'm going to do some stuff. You don't need to be here if you don't want to. And now she's saying, I need a nap. Already, she just woke up. She just woke up. Scientist, that's right, Debbie.
Because here's what people with CIA seals on civilian files have in common. They are never just one thing. They're anomalies. The perfect fusion of awareness, adaptability, and raw potential. You represent a convergence that shouldn't exist naturally, a walking contradiction of human capability. And right now, behind those closed doors, that's what they're whispering about. The real question isn't whether you're guilty or innocent. It's whether you're dangerous.
Well, I can answer this. The government knows dang well that I am for America. Always have been, always will be. We right the wrong. We fight for the unjust. So I'm not a problem to the government. They kind of like me. But the rest of you idiots, right? See, I don't sell drugs. I don't terrorize people. I don't take over channels. I don't blackmail people. I don't show photos of women. I don't do stuff like that. So therefore, I'm not a threat. And what they're wondering is, oh my crap, this guy is everything they said he wasn't. He's not on the take. He's not on the lam. He's a good boy. And that is what's shocking them the most. Ladies and gentlemen, I got chores to do. I could sit here all day and do this, but I ain't got time. Congress, Senate, this committee that is before me, scientists, doctors that are questioning me. How are you still alive? The question should be, why are you saying I'm dead? What do you know that I don't know? Is my question. Now, you folks all have a great day. I want to thank all of you for stopping in, Miss Debbie Fox, Miss ATS News, even the troll, Paige Turner. It's been a great day. God bless. All glory goes to God. Let me see if I got any little birds in my bird bath. Well, look at that, a cardinal. It's a red cardinal. Oh, there he went. There's another bird in there. He's going to take a bath. All right, ladies and gents, I might do another outdoor video. I got cardinals flying around, bluebirds. They're all getting their bath. Thank God. All right, enough with the acting. Oh, there's the cardinal. There's the cardinal. Hold on, he's going to take a bath or get some water, I think. What a beautiful cardinal. Oh, that one bird scared him away. Beautiful cardinal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. We'll be back.